Here's a short video. I'm going to do a quick repair on this Traxxas Slash. My one son was driving it, and a few days ago, and both my sons were driving their RCs, and they both came at the same time saying their RCs are broken. One broke wheel off in the fire pit full speed. The other one said his truck was smoking. I ran out because I run lipos. They run lipos in their trucks, and I thought, well, if it's on fire, that's probably not a good thing. But I took off the body to see what was going on. Really dirty, really dirty. Yes, that's what happens when a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old are playing in the dirt and mud. Yeah. Anyways, my 3-year-old got the motor so hot that the end bell came loose and the wire came desoldered. Now, this is not the original motor that comes with the Traxxas. It was also a brush motor, but the first one actually wore out. The brushes wore out on it, and closed can motors, you can't repair them. So yeah, I just threw this one because I had it, and well, it didn't last very long. Now it's no good anymore, so I'm going to throw in a Hobbywing Ezrun brushless system. This one is, see here, 3300 kV. And the reason why I'm going to this is these both have a temperature sensor in the motor and the ESC. So if they get too warm, they turn off. And I think this would be great for my kids. So yeah, when I come back, I should have it installed. Well, I got the wheel off, and I see, yeah, there is grass showed right in that hex drive against those bearings. I'm sure that had no part in melting the motor. Yeah, he rigged this pretty good there. This end cap end bell is, since fixed timing, end bell's loose. The sticker is slightly melted. The old Reedy DS didn't know what happened, or what was going to happen to it. Copper windings inside are all black. Yeah, she got pretty warm. Warm indeed. Well, I'll clean it up a little more, and time to throw in the new motor. A quick tip, if you own a 2-wheel drive Slash, what I done is the stock ESC usually sits back here. I found that it kind of gave it a weird weight bias from side to side, so you have your receiver in here, and it's in this little box and all this stuff. And so yeah, I took this, weighed this against the servo and the ESC, and it's actually pretty close to the same. So I mounted the ESC over there and actually gave it a little bit better weight bias side to side, which helped improve turning both ways. So yeah, if you're have one of these and you want a little bit better performance, I do recommend moving that over. Just move it. There's some bolt holes here. I just double-sided taped it down to the chassis to make sure I had enough long enough wires for the motor leads. And yeah, but yeah, gotta take this all apart to pull out your wire leads to install the new ESC. So yeah, you take off this box. This is the O-ring seal to help keep it waterproof. Then there's 2 boxes. There's one that actually holds ESC in place, and there's one that holds your wires to keep the water from going inside there. And yeah, there appears to be no liquid in there. Okay, when you open up your box, there's more boxes. So you got your motor. This is the 540 version. These have quite a bit of power. I run these in another truck I have. This motor does come with a little adapter. Now, where did it go? Here we go. You can put this on this pinion shaft, and you can run a bigger pinion. I don't recommend doing that because, yeah, it's best if you run a 5mm pinion. You might also get a motor with a 5mm pinion shaft. By the way, so you got your motor, ESC, extra fan, and of course your power adding stickers, the best part of all. So yeah, so all this will eventually go into there. And if you're wondering why I'm not cleaning it off as much, I don't drive this anymore, my kids do, so I'll just clean off what I need to, and they can clean off the rest once I bring her back home to them. Okay, so let's go in for a setup here. So one thing I do recommend, and that is cutoff voltage. You got disabled, auto low, auto intermediate, which is default, and auto high. If you're bashing, auto high. Kids are running it, auto high. The reason why I recommend that is, now, my kids run cheaper batteries. There's one here. Yeah. Gold bat. I get them off Amazon. They're $30 a piece. 5,000 milliamp, ADC. They're not ADC, I know that for a fact, but IR is decent. They're probably close to 5,000 milliamp. My kids get, with the brush motors, they're getting about, it's close to 60 minutes on the runtime. But I found with the stock Traxxas ESC, this XL5, it has a beginner mode or a junior mode where it's about 50% throttle. I found sometimes with the voltage cutoff, if the kids are driving really slow, that the one of the cells, it might drip below 3 volts. So something watch for is, yes, when you're auto cutoff, you know what, if you're racing, this is not really a system to race with, but auto low or disabled, yeah, that's how I run. If I'm racing, I would take it off, so that way, if points matter, finishing matters. But for normal bashing, I usually run in the auto high just to save my batteries. Cuts off some runtime, but it's most definitely worth saving your batteries. And then of course, there's all the other things you can adjust. This one here, you can adjust the voltage for the servos, 6 volts or 7.4. I don't think this Traxxas servo can handle 7.4, so I'll just leave it at 6 volts. And then your start punch, I'll probably put in level 5. Thing with brushless motors, they're very reactive. So if you have your punch low, you don't have them geared properly, actually acceleration on these things is not that great compared to a brush motor. So that's why I like this one. It has a temp sensor for the motor, which is these 2 wires here. Of course, one on the ESC. The ESC has a fan on it to help keep it cool, but it helps keep it, decent temperature. And yeah, in the settings, there is thermal protection, cutoff. I'll just keep it stock, which is 105 degrees C. And then the motor thermal protection, same thing, is at 105 degrees C. They also have ones for 125. Like I said, if I was running it, I'd probably bump it up just so, you can pull a little taller gearing. But since my kids are mostly running this, I'm going to leave it on the lowest setting so, they don't fry it. And then a few other settings here. You got your reverse force. Unfortunately, in this setup, you can only get 50%. I have another Hobbywing ESC that I can do 100%, which is really nice. Let's see here. Brake force. Yeah, there's a few things you can adjust on it. So it is pretty. And then your brake force. That's like how strong the braking is. I do recommend 100%. Just I find brushes don't brake as good as the old brush motors. There's a drag brake. I usually recommend leaving that off. Old brushless motors had, depending on your motor, had lots of drag brake. But yeah, now they kind of freewheel more, which I prefer. And then there's a few other in the with the programmer. There's a couple other things you can program as well too that are on this list, but yeah. So I got in. ESC will sit right there. The wires aren't long enough to move it anywhere else, so I'll sit there. You have a little bit of slack, so, and control the wire that goes to the the receiver runs down here, say back in there, and you can put your slack in this little box, which is nice. And then this is your on-off switch slash reset. Then the fan wire, which is right in between here. Let's grab something yeah, right there. That's also your programming port. So you pull that out and you can put your programmer into there as well. Alright, well, I'll finish tying up everything else and might do for a quick spin. Okay, another quick tip on the Traxxas Slash, and like any two-wheel drive Traxxas, the gearbox is 2 halves. You can see the seam in there. On the bottom side, now if you pull this plate off, you can actually see the gear, and there's usually a piece of tape from factory. I run a bigger piece of tape. Now, of course, this one's green, but it goes, yeah, all along the bottom, and this is covering it, but the skid plate's covering it, but kind of tape it off. This helps with, you know, I mean, my kids are driving this, and they drive through lots of water, as you can tell by this is all driving through a bunch of muddy water. It helps keep the moisture out. I mean, the gearbox is not waterproof. That does not make tape doesn't make it waterproof, but it helps it with, you know, a quick splash or, you know, whatever they are doing with this thing. So yeah, I'll throw a gear on here, see what. So there's a Hobbywing ESC installed there. Of course, the LiPo battery, box back, ESC cover back on the ESC cover back on. Everything backed up. So yeah, there's a little foam in here that keeps the wire, or puts tension on the wires and helps keep water out of the receiver box. Put a little bit of tape over the wires in the center just so they don't get tangled into the battery when the batteries going on. I usually put in the batteries, but just in case my kids want to try, I run everything EC3 connectors. I used to run Dean's back when I used to race. That was years ago when we still had brushed motors and nickel metal hydrate batteries. But then I switched to these. My helicopters had them, and I actually really like them, how they go together. This one here is a an XD60. They're very similar, but I'll cut this one off and put one of those on. Other than that, I'll just throw a pinion on there and let's do a quick look, see what kind of gear I want to throw in there, and I'll come back with a quick. Okay, quick wrap up here, did some testing. Now, of course, I'm still running the stock transmitter that comes with this Traxxas Slash, so you can't really adjust throttle travel. There's no parameters for it, radio. So I'd adjust the speed with the gearing, running super low. It's a 90 spur in a 13 tooth pinion. So I'm getting 31 kilometers an hour. Stock gearing I was running before for that motor that I had in there, it's 1887, and that was actually still geared too low for that motor, but I thought, well, the kids running it. But anyways, I tried it with that gearing, and I didn't have the GPS on my phone, or I didn't have my phone on it to GPS it, but it was way faster. Right now you can actually hear the motor. These motors have a max RPM, and it's basically hitting the max RPM. So it actually sounds like a motor, like you can hear it kind of like rev up, speed down, rev up. And it's just because it's, the motor's maxed out. Because I mean, it's geared so low. But I need a gear like this, so my kids are young. My oldest is 6 that drives this, and my youngest, he's 3 that drives this. So I gotta have it geared down lots, and that way it's a little easier on stuff. So so continue like the Hobbywing. So this is only a 60 amp ESC, and motor, so they're not drawing huge amperage. Good beginner system. Like I say, you can gear it up. So I mean, you can get the Slash going pretty fast. Like the gearing I had in before here, like this thing is way faster than it is now. But now, I say, like, I have it set up for my kids. So I just gotta leave it slow for them. And if I want to, though, quick Cooker change on these is pretty simple. You pull off the wheel. It's 2 bolts for the cover, 2 bolts for the motor. Pretty simple change. Yeah, I do recommend, if you're looking for a good replacement for the brushed motor, this Hobbywing Ezrun, decent price. They work good. They are waterproof. I run on my SMT10. It's been through quite a bit of water. Point where the fan actually stalled because the water was so deep. Yeah, still running strong. Also, like, the kit comes with a second fan. There you go. So that's also nice too. I know I've never had any issue with the fan quitting on me, but I know some people have. But yeah, that's about it. So let's put the body back on and pull the battery up, put the body back on, and yeah, let the kids wash, give her a cleaning when I get back from work.